Budget nights are typically carefully choreographed affairs. The set-piece speech, the slaps on the back, the rush of TV interviews, all capped off with handshakes and happy snaps at a party fundraiser. Tuesday night's routine, however, involved an unexpected cameo. Barely an hour after Josh Frydenberg finished delivering his budget speech in the House, Concetta Fierravanti-Wells was on her feet in the Senate launching a precision-guided missile at the Prime Minister. It was like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars, not part of the plan. M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Watch 9 minutes 43 seconds 9M. Watch in full Concetta Fierravanti-Wells' scathing 9-minute blast of Scott Morrison. The Liberal senator, who failed on the weekend to secure a winnable spot on the NSW Liberal Senate ticket, variously described the Prime Minister as unfit for office, an autocrat, and a bully with no moral compass. She even suggested Scott Morrison has used his so-called faith as a marketing advantage. Bullying claims can't be brushed aside. Once, this might have been dismissed as a parting dummy spit from someone whose disdain for the Prime Minister is well known. Indeed, the disdain dates back 15 years to the messy pre-selection surrounding Morrison's own entry to Parliament. But claims of bullying aren't so easily brushed aside these days. Just ask Anthony Albanese. The Labour leader has spent the past few weeks on the defensive over allegations the late Senator Kimberley Kitching was bullied. He's refused to call an inquiry, noting Kitching didn't use the complaints process at her disposal. She played politics hard, and from time to time, that can produce some conflict. The Prime Minister seized on all this as evidence of Albanese being gutless, weak, and a hypocrite. There was no subtlety in Morrison's attack. So how did the Prime Minister respond when directly accused by one of his own senators of being a bully? "I know Connie is disappointed," he said, suggesting this thermonuclear public character assault of a Prime Minister on budget night was a completely normal reaction to losing a pre-selection ballot. If the senator had any specific complaints of bullying, she should raise them with the party organization. In other words, it's entirely up to the senator to go through the formal channels. No special inquiry will be launched. It sounded very similar to Albanese's response on Kitching. In both cases, what some have suggested to be bullying, others have dismissed as the usual robust nature of internal party politics. Unsurprisingly, Fierravanti-Wells told her supporters yesterday she won't contest the election at all after missing out on the top Senate spots. But the she dropped on Tuesday night ensured Morrison's post-budget sales pitch the next morning was muddied by renewed questions over his character. Still, the Prime Minister and Treasurer were at least able to keep most of the focus on the budget goodies. The cheaper fuel and cash handouts set to flow in the weeks leading up to the election should give the government some political benefit. Whether it's enough to sustain real momentum for the coalition as the campaign begins is less clear. There was no subtlety in Scott Morrison's attack on Anthony Albanese this week. A big surprise buried in a press release. The budget does, however, stash funds aside for some further big announcements before Election Day, particularly involving regional infrastructure. And there's already speculation around one major project that would carry significant strategic ramifications. An extra $2 billion has been handed to the Northern Australia Infrastructure Facility in the budget, even though it hasn't spent its existing $5 billion allocation. The extra money, according to the budget, is for critical economic infrastructure projects. Buried in a separate press release from Infrastructure Minister Barnaby Joyce is talk about spending $1.5 billion of it on new port infrastructure, such as a wharf, an offloading facility, and dredging of the shipping channel somewhere in the Northern Territory. It's understood the big announcement to come in the campaign is a whole new Darwin port. The government certainly isn't likely to invest billions upgrading the existing port, given it's leased by a Chinese company. That 2015 leasing arrangement angered the United States and has been a headache for the Australian government ever since. A brand new port in Darwin would carry significant strategic ramifications. A brand new port might upset the Chinese owners of the existing facility, but that won't worry Morrison. It's unclear whether the new port would be purely for industrial use. More likely is a facility that can accommodate visiting naval ships from AUKUS partners, the United States and United Kingdom. A mid-campaign announcement of the new facility, now funded in the budget, will give the Prime Minister another opportunity to push his national security theme and push back at Beijing, particularly after China's moves to establish a greater military presence in the Solomon Islands. David Spears is the host of Insiders, which airs on ABC TV at 9 a.m. on Sunday or on iView, and a co-presenter of Q&A.